the shocking conclusion.
Here are our final predictions for Michelle's season of The Bachelorette. Hey guys, welcome back. We are so excited to talk all things Michelle's Bachelorette finale. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Zachary Reality. Zachary, before we even get into finale predictions, I feel like I just want to ask how you felt as we watched Michelle's entire journey unfold. Did you like the season? Did you hate the season? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say anything negative about the season because we do want to keep it positive here because everyone's a Bachelor fan, especially if they're listening to shared news or any Bachelor outlets. But I mean, for a lack of a better word, this has not been my favorite season. I think Katie's was a lot more interesting. I think Katie's season had more drama and more men that I was interested in. So I mean, I think this season was just lacking, mostly also because of the timing of it, just like having it start in October really threw everyone for a loop. And now everyone's getting ready for the holidays, and keeping up with The Bachelor is clearly a full time job. So it's definitely been a little bit of a challenge, I think, for this season, but I'm excited to see how it ends.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I love Michelle. I've always loved Michelle, but I feel like she's been kind of like an efficient, level headed bachelorette throughout the whole process. There hasn't been a lot of like absolute curveballs or things that, are so dramatic. Everyone in Bachelor Nation is talking about them at once. It's been a little more tame overall than like Katie's season with her explosive Greg fight and, Blake showing up and all that stuff. So I definitely see what you're saying. Will be really, really interesting to see, though, how this season wraps up. And that takes me to we got to make our final predictions. I mean, we've been talking about this all season long. Obviously, tonight is the night. We will know very soon what Michelle's future holds. So, first things first, we are down to Nayte and Brandon. Those are her final two. Zachary, I want to know if you think she picked the right two guys, okay? Should these two have been her final two? And also, out of the two of them, do you have a favorite? Are we rooting for one over the other? How are you feeling?
I mean, I think she is down to the two guys that love and care about her the most and that she sees a connection with. So I definitely think she's done a pretty good job or a really good job throughout the season of, picking the right guys and making the right decisions. I definitely think these two guys were meant to be her final two. I mean, I think after watching the season, looking back, a lot of us expected Joe to be there. It would have been Joe and Nate. I think that most of us, including myself, thought it would come down to. But at the end of the day, after watching Fantasy Suites, it was clear that Brandon was really fighting for Michelle, and I just felt like Joe wasn't. And then his whole like, oh, I'm introverted, I'm shy, just like doesn't work anymore when you're at the final three. So I definitely think Brandon and Nate deserve to be there. I am rooting for Michelle's happiness. So I'm probably rooting for Nate. I think that Nate is the guy Michelle is most into, and she could probably, see that future with him. I don't know if it will last. I'll be back, to talk about it after the final rose, after we see, the dynamic between Nate and Brandon, whoever she picks. Then I'll make like a full analysis on like if they'll last or not. But just based on the show, I think she's gonna pick Nate. I think they're gonna end up getting engaged, and then we'll see what happens at the final rose.
Yeah, I have to say I'm with you. I think I would have initially put Joe and Nate as my top two, but things did kind of like I feel like the writing was on the wall a little bit. I know a lot of people were surprised to see Joe go home, but she's always had a lot of fun with Brandon. They've always had like a very obvious spark between them, and you cannot deny the difference in how verbally affirmative and willing to like really open up about his feelings been from day one. And Joe just isn't that kind of guy. Doesn't mean bad guy, doesn't mean they couldn't have been happy. But I agree with you. I think she got the right final two. I am also with you. I think she's leaning a little bit more towards Nate. Let's face it. Face it, first impression rose. I mean, she and Nate have had such a journey. And I feel like every stage of the game, you could see a difference. Whichever guy she was spending time with immediately before she was spending time with Nate, you could just see a little bit of a difference in the spark between her and Nate, or at least I could. throughout watching the show. So I am rooting for Nate, and I'm with you. I think he might end up being one. But I want to know if you think she's going to struggle with the decision because obviously Nate's been a front runner since the minute he stepped out of the limo, right? But Brandon has been too. He's was I think kind of we thought maybe going to be an underdog, but he solidified
Yeah.
himself as someone to watch very early on in the season. How difficult do you think this is going to be for her? She says she's in love with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, she's been pretty confident with all of her decisions, so I have no doubts that she's gonna know what she's doing and be firm in her decision. However, there is the trailer going around, there's teasers, and in one of the teasers, we see Michelle breaking down, crying, like on the day of the final rose ceremony slash proposal, if there is a proposal, we see her breaking down, like tearing up. And I'm just like, why is she doing that? Did she just break up with someone? Is she about to break up with both of them? I don't really know what's gonna go down because we haven't seen Michelle really lose her cool all season long. However, it's
Mhm.
definitely gonna go down tonight, so I think she is gonna struggle, and we are gonna see her cry, especially after, the parents come in and we get their approval and hear their 2 cents. It's gonna be a dramatic ending for sure, and I think a lot of people are just excited to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, Zach, I mean, you brought up the trailer. Another clip that I've been, you mentioned the parents kind of nervous about is hearing them say that they don't think someone is ready for marriage. That is a big bomb to drop. And I feel like parents take, different routes. Sometimes we have a Barb who really, really wants to be involved and really wants to have a say. And other times that, want to take a back seat and not influence the lead's decision. And I kind of feel like this might really mess with her to hear that. I think it would really mess with me, especially if in my head it was the person I was leaning towards. How much of an impact do you think that's going to have?
It's gonna have a lot of an impact, but I do remember when we met Michelle's parents a few weeks ago with Brandon when they had their one-on-one date in Minnesota. They seemed really nonchalant and chill, and they also told Brandon that they trust Michelle and like whatever decision she makes, they're going to trust her. However, like you mentioned, Michelle's mom is definitely concerned about Nate, I believe, in the trailer. And I think the dad, Michelle's dad, is concerned as well about, Brandon being jealous or something. So it's going to have an ultimate say. And it's even if Michelle picks one of these guys, we've all seen The Bachelorette. She doesn't have to actually get married to one of them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if whoever she picks, it really broke up in a few months if it wasn't meant to be. So I think at this point, she just needs to make the best decision for her and her only in the moment, and then, see what happens after the show.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, I mean, it looks like, again, just keep going back to that trailer, it does look like we see both of the men getting ready to head down to that final rose ceremony. So, assuming Michelle is very confident in her decision, doesn't look like she's going to take the route of ending it with the, guy who she knows she couldn't see herself marrying. Feels like she's going to go all the way through with the rose ceremony and potentially stop someone before they propose, that kind of really tense moment. And I feel like it's going to be really tough. Fans love both Brandon and Nate. Watching one of them get their heart broken on, that final rose ceremony set, all dressed up, I think it's going to be really emotional, really hard to watch back.
It's gonna be emotional, there's gonna be tears. I mean, I'm excited to see a proposal, a romantic, happy ending to this long season, to this long year. I mean, this is gonna be like the only proposal or the last proposal we'll see on TV, like of the entire 2021. Like, this is a big deal. Holidays right around the corner. Like, it's gonna be a very, very romantic ending. So I cannot wait to see it. And I'm excited for the heartbreak too, because you can't appreciate the proposal without a good heartbreak. So I think it's gonna be
Mhm.
a lot of crying tonight, both positive and negative. Fiona, I don't know about you, but I will have tissues, popcorn, and red wine ready.
Same 100%. So, just to be 100% clear with our prediction, do you think we are getting a proposal? And do you think Michelle is
Yes.
going to accept? Because she does have that moment in her dress on the beach where she's like, what am I doing? Do we think at the last second she's going to be like, I don't want to be engaged. I just want to be, boyfriend, girlfriend? Is she going to pull one of those on us? What is your like to the T prediction? Who's it going to be and
Yeah.
will she accept?
I just think she's gonna get engaged because it's The Bachelorette, and they're gonna like force an engagement on her. So I do think she's gonna get engaged to Nate, and I think that they'll last 6 or 7 months. That's where I stand.
All right. So you think that they have a chance. You think that they have, enough of a connection to make it work for a little while at least, but maybe not
Just a
forever. All
little.
right. I'm kind of with you. We're obviously going to see an after the final rose special as well. Odds are Joe will be having, a turn in the hot seat. How do you think that is going to go? If Michelle and Joe have to, sit down on that couch, be face to face, one of the things Joe made very clear to all of us and her all season is not super comfortable sharing his emotions and he doesn't really enjoy getting super vulnerable. So I think a hot seat moment from Joe might be really tough for him.
I mean, if Joe wants to be the next Bachelor or be a fan favorite in Paradise, he's gonna have to milk it. That after the final rose is his last chance. I wonder if they'll even put him in the entire special because sometimes things do get cut out with timing and everything. But I mean, Joe is just not, he's not super comfortable with the cameras. He hasn't been all season, so I feel like he's just gonna want to get through it. And Michelle, she's not gonna pull a Katie. She's not trying to call anyone out or blindside anyone. So I think it's going to be very seamless. It may be a little boring, compared to other Bachelor after the final roses. I think that it's just going to be like mature and respectful, which is great for them, but just not great for reality TV.
It's definitely going to be very interesting to see if there are any like super last minute, we never saw this coming curveballs. I think a lot of fans, as we've been watching this season, have been able to kind of predict some of the moves, like not spoiled. I do think that they kind of painted a fairly clear picture of where this season, was going. We also, of course, knew that Clayton was going to be the next Bachelor the whole time we were watching. So there were little things that made it a little bit different of a viewing experience. At this point, I'm just excited to see how Michelle's journey comes to an end. I think overall, good season. Happy I tuned in. And I really hope she finds love. I don't know if I'm kind of aligned with you, Zach. Maybe I don't see it lasting forever, but hopefully she's been really happy and hiding out for these past few months with a giant ring on her finger.
Yeah. Hopefully. We wish you the best, Michelle, and happy holidays.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Well, we want to know what you are wishing for Michelle. Let us know your final predictions. Does she get engaged? Who is it to? And will it last? Leave those thoughts down for us in the comments. And if you are not already subscribed to our channel, make sure you do. Make sure you ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Zachary Reality. If you want to come say hi, check out our socials. They're on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.